Hey, Pops, guys, we're here. I told you all the podcast was going to be done on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9 a.m. sharp, but also on Sundays for an overreaction pod, and things like that. Oh, excuse me, especially, like when the season starts, stuff like that, all right? So, guys, I'm coming at you live. It's about 5 o'clock p.m. In Houston, Texas down here. And guys, I finished watching the press conference with Jimbo Fisher and a couple of players and stuff like that, man. And I just want to say this here. What are the expectations? And I remember me doing this pod maybe like a couple of months back and stuff like that. And I asked the same question again, man. Hey, what are the expectations for Texas A&M going into the 2022 season? So I look around. And a lot of people, of course, has A&M either going 8-4 or they have A&M, maybe going 10-2. Some have them, which is most, have them at 9-3. So I was looking at something, and I was looking at the On3, and they had posted something and stuff like that, man. So it was some interesting things, and they were posting, the SEC. Like running back rooms, linebackers, and stuff like that. So in about 4 categories, and this is on offense and defense, in about 4 categories, A&M was in the top 5 in almost all of them. I'm sorry, in about 5 categories, A&M was in the top 5 almost all of them. So it's like, okay, I started thinking, man, so why does everybody think that A&M is going to go 9-3? And I hear a lot of blowback, and this also from, the Aggie fans and stuff like that as well. A lot of people are just saying that, man, we're just so young. We're way too young, man, and we're in the SEC. And not only that, we're in the SEC West. I understand that, and I get that and stuff like that, man, but I'm here to tell you this here. Although this team just may very well be young, and when we talk about young, we're talking about, so far as like the starts and stuff like that, man. Although they are probably that young, they're not that young to say, hey, go out there and win about 10 ball games at minimum and go over that 9-game hump already. I promise you they're not too young to do that. And when I say 9 games, no. And when I say 10 games, I'm talking about 10 games regular season. We're not talking about 9 games and then the 10th game coming a bowl game or something like that. Because if you don't win a bowl game, you're not going to have that 10 win. Okay? So, to be very, very honest with you, Jimbo Fisher is by far the only college football head coach right now that has almost like a perfect bowl record. That's very crazy to say, regardless to what bowls he's played in, because he's played in a couple of New Year's Sixes at Florida State. Once again, he's the only one to this day that can say almost got a perfect bowl record. I think he only has about 2 losses in a bowl games. Okay? That's about it, man. That is a crazy, crazy, wild stat. But like I say, he's almost flawless. But back to the point that I'm making, we don't want that 10 win to come in a bowl game. Okay? So when you guys say 9-3, okay, hey man, the team just may very well go 9-3, but the more I think about it, the more I talk about it, where's the 3rd loss going to come from? I think all of you guys tuned in, howdy to everybody. Where is that 3rd loss really just going to come from? Number one, I hear Number one, I hear Alabama. Alabama's like the first loss on everybody's wish list, sort of say, hey man, A&M is going to lose to Alabama. That's going to be the first loss of the season. And if that occurs, then hey man, I'm fine with that. I have no problem with that being a loss. Primarily because they're a blue blood team, and hell, they're in the SEC West. They've always been hard ever since we've gotten it. Where are the other 2 losses? Because it's a lot of people say Arkansas. A lot of people say Miami because of Tyler Van Dyke. In which, hey, I'm rooting for the little young fella. I think he is a pretty good quarterback. But to say that he's going to come into Texas A&M on Kyle Field and win there because what, y'all seen Mississippi State do it? That's just blasphemy. That's blasphemy to me. And when I say, you know, coming there to Kyle Field, this is all under Jimbo Fisher. As of right now, ever since we've been in the SEC, Jimbo Fisher has taken Kyle Field back and made that a winning atmosphere. Okay, you guys have to honestly understand that. Okay, you have to understand that. But once again, man, to say that Miami is just going to come in there and they're going to, you know, not flat out win the game, but they're just going to come in there and they're going to make a statement and win against us, once again, because you've seen Mississippi State do it. Remind you, man, Mississippi State is an SEC West team that we play every year. You know, and Mike Leach, I think that's his like third year playing Jimbo Fisher. Or second year, I believe. This is the second year playing Jimbo Fisher. So that's fine. You know, Mike Leach has a history of playing at Kyle Field. You know, so we will give him that. I don't know what mitt he got on or curse he got on at Kyle Field, but you know, man, it is what it is. But to say Miami is ready to come in there and take that victory hands down, no, man, you guys can dismiss me on that. Now, I'm not going to talk like a lot of people are saying Miami, but it is still a lot of people that are saying Miami is going to come in there and win. Probably mainly Miami fans and people that's just in the Miami area. All right, and which is fine, man. You're supposed to be behind your team. But anywho, keep going forward here. So now another loss they bring up is maybe Arkansas, because Arkansas won last year. Remind you, Arkansas hadn't won in like almost 10 years, people. They hadn't beaten A&M ever since they've been in the SEC. So now Arkansas has that win. A lot of people think that Arkansas is going to come in, oh, they're just going to win again. Well, shoot, if you're going to give Arkansas that win again, then what's wrong with giving Texas A&M that win again against Alabama? Oh, well, because Alabama's bringing everybody back. This is what I hear from a lot of people. You guys can't honestly tell me that is a true statement in which you're going to go by and, you know, just roll with that. That's not true. So I'm Xing Arkansas off there, man. Once again, Mississippi State. You know, now we get to Mississippi State. So the reason why they are saying 3 is because that road schedule, by far, is probably one of the hardest road schedules that we've had ever since Jimbo Fisher's been the head coach there. So we traveled on the road to Alabama. We traveled on the road to Mississippi State, neutral site Arkansas. We traveled on the road to South Carolina, and we traveled on the road to I can't think of the other team, but it's like all 3 trap games, like all in one. You know, the biggest ones that they're claiming that we're gonna lose is Alabama 1, Mississippi State 2, Arkansas is like a maybe in there. And then who's the other one? South Carolina. I hear a lot of people talking about South Carolina's going to beat us. South Carolina hadn't beaten us ever since we played them years ago. And I'm not going to talk like we've been playing South Carolina ever since we got to the ACC, including the first year. No, we have not. We started playing South Carolina when the Hill guy took over for Johnny Manziel. Okay, that's when we started playing South Carolina. Went up there, blew them out. And from my understanding, we got like 2 blowouts already down there in South Carolina. So we're going back to South Carolina. A lot of people has been picking that game to be an upset game. A lot of people still think that. Me, I don't see it. I don't see it right now. Of course, the season hasn't started. So, you know, hey, man, who knows? South Carolina comes into that game undefeated. A&M already has about 1 loss, which is to Alabama. And yeah, man, you probably could, you know, potentially see that. Kenny Hill, thanks for pointing that out. Text 10 run. Thank you. Thank you for pointing that out. But Kenny Hill, because I was about to say Colin Hill. But it's Kenny Hill. But, man, you can't honestly be for real when you guys tell me that you see South Carolina maybe having it upset. Now, I will say this. South Carolina is the game that I'm watching, because that could potentially be an upset. That could potentially be. I'm not saying that they're going to upset Texas A&M, but I'm saying I am watching that game very closely. That's going to be a game that South Carolina has marked on their schedule for going on like 7 years now. They've just come up short every time they come against us. All right, so South Carolina is treating us like a Georgia, and they're treating us like an Alabama. It is a specific team that they cannot beat. Okay, we are undefeated against South Carolina. Undefeated. We're like 6-0 against them. It'll make 7-0 this year because I'm already picking that to be a win. All right. But anywho, LSU. I see a lot of people giving us the LSU game. Hey, they're gonna win that one. In Florida, I don't see people just really picking Florida to beat us. Maybe because it's at home and of course it's first year coach. And Ole Miss, it's another tricky one. Nobody's picking Ole Miss though. I have no clue why they're not picking. Well, I do have a clue. Because they lost their quarterback and they lost a couple of more key pieces from off that offense. He lost his offense coordinator, lost the defense coordinator. So I will say that we will beat Ole Miss, and hey man, that's just that. So once again, I see this team possibly going 11-1. Okay? 10 wins is at the minimum regular season for me. For me. And it should be for a lot of you guys, okay? It should be for a lot of you guys to say, hey, this team is an 11-win team. It's a 10-win team at minimum. At minimum. The reason to why they are projecting Texas A&M to go like 9-3 or 8-4 is because I have done the numbers. I've done the numbers from 2012 all the way up to 2021. This team has an average win total of 8 wins or better. They honestly do. So this is the reason why they will continue to say that. And this is the reason to why a lot of fan bases are actually saying that. I will admit that. I have no problem with it. However, you got to factor that into not consistent quarterback play, not consistent wide receiver play, not consistent offensive line play. Notice how I said everything offensively. Okay? Now, we get down to the nitty-gritty of what happened in the press conference before practice took place at 4:30, in which I have not saw any practice videos yet. I'm pretty sure they're still practicing, maybe all the way up to 5:30, maybe 6. You know, it was when they're going to end it. But this is what I got from that press conference that has me really, really, really amped about when the season starts. And a lot of you guys need to go back and watch the YouTube on Texas A&M Athletics and watch the entire press conference. Don't just watch bits and pieces of it. Watch the entire thing, okay? I sat here and I watched the entire thing. Me and my wife actually watched it. This is what I got from them. I see a lot of you guys in the comments saying 11-1. This is the reason to why I am saying this team will be 11-1. No. Let me start from the bottom. This is the reason why I am saying this team will be 10-2 or 11-1 or 12-0. Okay? From that press conference, I've watched Jimbo Fisher do a press conference for 5 years now. Him and his coaches. I have not seen them speak like that in a very long time. Okay? I have not seen them speak like that ever. So this is what I got from Jimbo Fisher. He was saying that a couple of guys stood out to him, especially on the defensive line, in which a lot of people are saying they were very young, and that's why we may give up a lot of points and a lot of losses. He said on that defensive line specifically, man, junior defensive lineman McKinley Jackson, which is in the middle. McKinley is not an edge rusher, people. He's an in-the-middle guy. He has that size and build, and he's that defensive tackle that will cause a problem. He said specifically that guy there has been standing out the entire camp so far. In the 4 practices, he stood out. I don't believe he was in that spring game, if I'm not mistaken, but he has said that he stood out the entire time in camp. Okay? That's one of them. And he's also said that McKenna Jackson has finally taken that step forward. Of course, we'll see that during the game days, but he did confirm that he has now taken that second step. Another guy is Fidel Diggs. I've been high on this young man ever since he's been recruited in the 2020 class. Remind you, Fidel is a 4-star recruit. He was not a highly rated 4-star recruit. Fidel was in like the 200s. I'm excited about that young man. He should have been way a little bit more further, if you ask me, in that 4-star ranking, a higher 4-star. But I don't want to get started because the stars don't matter crowd will come from out of nowhere and they'll tell me what it all is in this video and stuff like that, and we're not going to start that today, all right? But Fidel Diggs is the 4-star recruit. He wasn't a 3-star. He was in like 200s, like I said. But he's also been a guy that's been standing out to him as well. He has said it's a couple of those guys on the defensive line that has taken that leadership role and pushed it to the next level. Fidel Diggs is one of them, man. He's building himself into a 2nd or 3rd round draft pick at least. Fidel would not stay another year. If he stays another year, then you can consider that defensive line very, very dangerous going into 2023. But I expect Fidel Diggs to leave after this year. I expect McKinley Jackson to leave after this year. And this is another guy I'm about to mention that a lot of us don't really talk about. Isaiah Rakes. We've seen him in the spring game. Isaiah Rakes can run people. To be that big and can run that fast, he's going to cause a problem on the defensive line. Once again, these are the bookends. Okay? I remember somebody talking about that in like 2015 or 2016. Those are the bookends. They need those bookends to me. Ever since Jimbo Fisher's been there, all of those bookends have met. Okay? Our only issue is that we have not had nobody on that bookend on the defensive line to go 1st round yet. DeMarvin Leal was almost there. He was pretty close, but he did not go 1st round as a lot of us expected him to. Now we do have a 1st round type of unit, okay? Understand what I'm saying? They're young, don't get me wrong. But this is a 1st to 2nd, no, let me rephrase it. This is a 1st to 3rd round type of unit that we're about to put out there. And we need those guys to gel come that Miami game so they can show the entire college football nation that Texas A&M is here. Defensive line-wise, we are here, okay? So you guys have to at least give us that credit. We may not be all the way national championship ready yet. Me personally, I do think we are. Those guys just have to find it in themselves and they have to push it out of them, okay? But that defensive line, because Elijah Robinson has been working with them for so long, man, and so much. Now we're going to get to Elijah because he was the 2nd coach that went on hand. Elijah Robinson also said this here. For those guys to sit back and learn from that older unit, it made a big, big difference, okay? Once again, man, this is his 2nd year of having a defensive line that's that stout. This is his 1st ever year of having a defensive line this deeply talented. You guys can take a sigh of relief. You can take a deep, deep breath on that. We have finally made it to that point to where our defensive line can be heavily rotated, man. It can be heavily, heavily rotated. Elijah Robinson even said this is depth at each and every position. We're not going to like the 2nd man anymore. We're going to like the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th guy on that bench when the guy gets tired. It's competition in each one of those rooms now. Okay? It is competition. So that's just Elijah Robinson. Terry Price, he did not do the interview. I hardly ever see Terry Price do interviews, mainly because I don't even much think Terry Price just really wants to do an interview like that. So he kind of sticks in the back as a producer, so to speak, and he lets Elijah Robinson go out and mainly do his thing. That's why a lot of people want Terry Price and a lot of people wanted Elijah Robinson this year. All right. People are looking to break that defensive line coaching staff up. Okay? Because they will have one of the best in the country coming into this year, but once again, they will be very young. I don't mind saying that, in which they will be pretty young, but I can't say that they're as young as a lot of people are saying they are. And I posted that on Twitter too, man. This team is not that young as you guys are saying they are. Defensive line-wise, yes. Backfield, secondary, a lot of those guys have played way valuable snaps. Jalen Jones, Tyreek Chappelle, who else is another one? Miles Jones, Antonio Johnson, Damani Richardson, Brian George, A lot of these guys are juniors and seniors back there, man. Mixed in with some sophomores and some dominant freshmen that are coming in, and that's going to push the entire unit. Once again, this is why this #1 class is so valuable, okay? And this is why a lot of people want a top 3 class. You can live with a top 5 because the top 5 will show you what's what. But a lot of people want that top 3 class. Once again, #1, Texas A&M in 2021. 2022. A lot of you guys are tired of hearing that, understand that. It is what it is. We got the #1 class. Deal with it. We're going to take it, and we're going to deal with it as well. That's a lot of talent in that room, and you got to make a lot of those guys pretty happy because of what they're doing. You got to have a lot of those guys to buy in now that you're going to go out there and play games and also practice. All right, so let's talk about a lot of these guys as well that's in the linebacking core that Jimbo Fisher mentioned as well. He mentioned Edrin Cooper. A lot of people are thinking that our linebacker unit is pretty much the weakness on the team, in which I will agree with, not all the way 100%, but that is a weakness for our defensive side of the field. It's the linebacker unit. However, Ish Harris is coming in there to make plays and also not be a day one starter, but to just be in there and help when needed, okay? A lot of you guys have to understand it. But Jimbo Fisher talked about Edrin Cooper. He talked about how much he has shown, and what he can actually come in there and do, man. I'm excited about that linebacker unit because I feel like out of all the units on this Texas A&M team, the linebackers are the ones that want to go out and prove something. All right? They really want to go out and prove something. #1 is the wide receiver unit. They by far are the ones that want to go out and prove a whole lot. Okay? They want to go out and prove a whole lot, man. So we are really going to be watching them, all right? So now we get down to the offensive side of the ball, all right? So Darryl Dickey. Of course, that's everyone should know by now. Darryl Dickey has transferred over to being the wide receivers coach, okay? So before he got up on the podium and started doing his, press conference and stuff like that, he simply pointed out, how's everybody doing? This is my 40th year now for coaching. 40. Darryl Dickey does not want to be a head coach, okay? He's perfectly fine with being a coordinator. That speaks volume, man, because now you think to your mind, you're thinking of like the Clemsons of the world and how the way Dabo Swinney kept all of those guys with him for about 8 to 10 years over there because he made sure everybody was happy and he treated them all like family. Right now, at A&M, everybody is family, man. Everybody's a family over there with their coaching staff. Elijah Robinson is the assistant head coach. A lot of you guys may not even much know that, but then again, a lot of you guys should have known that because they announced that leading up to the spring game, man. Once again, Elijah Robinson is an assistant head coach as well, so it's a lot of changes. Now, on the offensive side of the ball, let's get back to what we were talking about. Darryl Dickey is working with the wide receivers. Darryl Dickey has worked with all kind of position groups all throughout his 40-year tenure. The reason to why you're hearing a whole lot of noise about this wide receiver unit, and I'm so intrigued and I'm excited to see those guys, is because Darryl Dickey said this himself. We're going to be explosive this year, man. They have not said that ever since they've been in Texas A&M. But Darryl Dickey also broke down to how the way the quarterbacks have to read everything on the field. He said this here in particular, man. He said during that Kellen Mond year, that year he had went 9-1, which was Kellen Mond's best year ever at being a starter. During that year that Kellen Mond went 9-1, he specifically said that Kellen Mond came back to Jimbo Fisher and told Jimbo Fisher exactly the same thing of what he was thinking. Okay? So this is what Jimbo Fisher had said. Kellen Mond said, excuse me. Hold on, excuse me, guys. Woo. Woo! Had to give me some drink there. But anywho, back to what we was talking about. So Daryl Dickey said this here about Jimbo Fisher. He said that on the play where they were on the goal line, he said Jimbo Fisher was walking up and down, the sideline, and he was saying to himself, man, I see something right there. I wonder if Kellen Mond is actually looking at the same thing. He said Kellen Mond came back to the sideline, I believe after the play was over with, and he got with Coach Fisher, and he said, man, I seen how they done such and such. And he said that's when it all hit right there. Kellen Mond was thinking the same way that Jimbo Fisher was actually thinking as well. This is why in 2020 you did not see Kellen Mond turning over the football like that. He had a bad Alabama game, I will honestly say that, but this is why you're seeing Kellen Mond also get drafted. This is why you're seeing Kellen Mond get better year after year, and he put us up to being the number 4 team in the country. Daryl Dickey explained to you and broke it down. This is what it takes being a quarterback and learning a pro-style system, but also being a quarterback under Jimbo Fisher. You have to be patient with it. You cannot be in a hurry. Okay? You cannot be in a hurry and think that you're gonna make the play right then and there. He basically said, man, you gotta know the timing of everything. He said for years and years, ever since I've been here at Texas A&M, we have not had the players that we have had now. He said that. And this is courtesy to that number 1 recruiting class that went out and got a lot of skilled players that are playing like they're already sophomores and juniors. This is why I'm telling you that this year, this isn't a 9-3 thing here. This is a either 10-2 or this is an 11-1 or 12-0 season. A lot of you guys don't want to believe that because you guys just want to go off what history has told you so far. History never told you that Texas A&M was going to be the number 4 team in 2020 now, did it? It didn't tell you that. You guys have to understand what Daryl Dickey is pointing out. He's pointing out that this offense is going to be very explosive, whether you guys like it or not. He also said this here that got me very intrigued, and I know that we're going to have a lot of mismatches out here, and we're going to beat a lot of teams with this guys. He said, this is a year like when we had, God, I can't think of the guy's name, that came in as a tight end in the 2017 recruiting class. And he started with Jimbo Fisher in 2018. The tight end, man, I can't think of his name. You guys know that name. Please tell me down in the comments if you guys remember his name. But he has specifically said that now we have that type of room. He's saying that now we have this tight end type room. So I'm going to get from the receivers. I'm going to talk about the tight ends now. Because he's coaching the tight ends. And also, I'm sorry. So he's coaching the tight ends. Okay? He is coaching the tight ends. Sternberger. What was it? Jake Sternberger? I believe it was Jake Sternberger. That's his name. This is what Daryl Dickey said up there on the podium. We're looking for somebody to emerge like Jake Sternberger did in that 2018 year in which he had a phenomenal season. Don't know why he didn't go higher in the draft, but he had a phenomenal season. We're now looking for that type of guy to emerge in that tight end room. This is what he also said. We're looking at running a 2 tight end set this year, a whole lot. I take it back to when I was talking to you guys a couple of months ago, and I was telling you guys about this 2 tight end system. Also, I was talking to Mr. Henry Green, which is Keon Green's dad, one day a couple of months ago, and I was like, man, we're going to be dangerous if we run that 2 tight end set because it's going to be mismatched. And if I didn't get my wish, and if I wasn't right, then I don't know who will. Okay? Daryl Dickey is absolutely, and Jimbo Fisher, and Damian Craig as well, because he's working with the quarterbacks. They're absolutely looking into running a 2 tight end system this season. That means Jake Johnson will potentially be on the field. Fernando Garza, in which a lot of people forget about, he's a tight end as well. He's looking to probably be on the field. And what's my boy name? Green over there. God dog it, these guys' names are flying out of my head now. But the Green, Donovan Green, he's looking to get on the field. He might be a guy that's on the field. And Max Wright. So we're looking at Max Wright, Jake Johnson, Fernando Garza, Donovan Green, and also Theodore Orchard. That's like 5 tight ends out of the name right there. All of those guys will probably get snap counts this entire season because they're looking to be a dominant force on the 2 tight end set. So do you guys not know what that means? And if you guys didn't, I'm about to tell you. On third downs, we're going to be a threat to the college football world. We're going to be dominant on third downs. Why? Because not only will we have wide receivers out there, we were going to have 2 tight ends that's running in the wide receiver slot routes that can catch the football and take a lick at the same time. No, man. This team was the team that we were absolutely waiting on. So that's why I say you guys are looking, because Mississippi State, oh man, you guys are seeing my shirt sweat. I'm sweating hard out here. But you guys are looking at the Mississippi State game, and you guys are seeing that, oh, okay, well, Mississippi State is going to be a little bit more experienced than Texas A&M, so that's why we're picking them. It's not going to work like that. I'm telling you, it's not going to work like that. I respect experience, hands down. But I can honestly say that it's not going to work like that. And a lot of people have come all in my mentions nowadays and kind of pretty much shooting me down on what I'm saying, telling me that I'm not right, et cetera, and stuff like that, man. A&M is so young, they're not going to do this, they're not going to do that. Man, I'm telling you this here. We're going to run a 2 tight end set, and we're going to be very dangerous. So now we get to the offensive line, and then we're going to get to running backs, and then we're going to pretty much end it right there. So now we get to the offensive line. So Leighton Robinson was at the podium. If you guys don't like Leighton Robinson, I can honestly say, man, I don't know what's wrong with you guys. Maybe you guys just maybe hating on Leighton. I don't know, man. But Leighton Robinson gives off that grown man vibe in which he's already a leader. That young man is by far the most perfect interviewer that you could have at a podium speaking as a player. Okay? And if I'm not mistaken, Leighton has gotten his ring already. So he is potentially going to go. Ain't no potential. He is going to go to the draft after this year. I'm looking for Leighton Robinson to follow that Keon Green's line of dominance and excellence going out into the NFL draft. I'm looking for Leighton to be a first rounder, man. I'm sorry. And I do know that Leighton will be a first round. He will be a first round draft pick. It's a couple of more of those guys on that offensive line that are like first to third round draft picks. All right. Another guy, and a guy that's not getting mentioned as much as a freshman is P.J. Williams. A lot of you guys kind of overlooking him because he's a freshman. Okay. Interviewee. Thank you. Golly, I'm getting all the stuff mixed up today, but interview. But a lot of you guys are overlooking P.J. Washington, man. No, I'm sorry, P.J. Williams. He's going to be a very, very dominant threat on that offensive line. He may not start this year, but the guy that is going to start as a freshman is Cam Dewberry. I believe that he will be put out there. He will be put out there somewhere. So I will correct that. He may not be a starter, but he's going to be on that second team, and they're going to rotate that offensive line if they have to, man. They are. Bryce Foster will be a force. So this is my issue. I don't know what they're talking about so far as Texas A&M offensive line has question marks. Where? Because Keon Green left? Guys, forget that Leighton Robinson is coming back. Bryce Foster is coming back. Man, who's my other big guys out there, man, that I just always forget. But it's a couple more of those guys that Smart Treviso has come back. Um, Abu Aki, I don't know that guy's name for nothing in the world. Aki is coming back. We're just gonna name that Aki is coming back. Ruben Fogarty is coming back. What is people talking about with the offensive line that has question marks? Now, I honestly think they're saying that because at the same time, they don't want to say that Alabama has the most question marks on the offensive line than any other unit in college football. Their offensive line has question marks, not Texas A&M. You only got one question mark that you're speaking of when you say offensive line. You just want to see who's going to fill the role that Keon Green took on when he was there. That's the only thing that you guys are looking at. Other than that, Ruben Fogarty has experience. Bryce Foster has experience. You know, Aki has experience. Like I say, Leighton Robinson, he has experience. It's a lot of those guys on that offensive line that has played already. Smart Treviso has experience. Jordan Moku, I don't believe he has any experience. But he's going to come in, and I think he's going to be a pretty good dominant force. Okay? So, it's a lot of people talking about an offensive line unit because they want to kind of pretty much point that out as another weak spot for Texas A&M, excluding the quarterback conversation, because that's what everybody is pointing out at Texas A&M as being the weakest spot. Oh, they don't have a quarterback. Y'all don't have a quarterback. I'm here to tell you, we absolutely do have a quarterback. We got 3 of them. All right? We have 3 quarterbacks, man. Okay, so I see somebody saying that Smart Treviso isn't on the roster. Is he not? Why is he not on the roster? Man, I just saw that roster not too long ago. Why is Smart Treviso not on? He's obviously got to be hurt, something, man. But I'm gonna have to go and look that up. But Jordan Moku, he is going to be pretty good. And that's the guy from overseas as well. Jordan Moku. I don't know why Smart Treviso isn't on that roster, but if he's not, man, we need to honestly see why he's not on there. But man, it isn't that many question marks like people are thinking it is on that on our offensive line, man. Okay, yes, he's from Australia. I didn't want to say the wrong country. Okay, yeah, but he is from Australia. Okay, but it's a lot of guys up front that will wreak havoc. Okay, but the guy that I'm really pointing out is Leighton Robinson, man. But another guy I'm pointing out as well to take charge with him is Bryce Foster. Bryce Foster and Leighton Robinson are going to continue to do what they do. Also, man, Blake Traynor. You know, it's like I say, man, those guys' names may not come up right away, but the more and more I keep on talking, the more their names pop up. But Blake Traynor, he's another one. We can use him as needed. You know, man, it's a lot of these guys, man. It's a lot of these guys that we can put out there that I do believe that can handle the competition. You got to think to yourself, man, we pulled in a best defensive line freshman class there it was to go along with the rest of the defensive linemen that were already there. So, you know, you get to the freshmen, I'm hearing that Shamar Stewart is making noise. I'm hearing that Walter Nolan is everything that we thought he was. He's not just a youngster coming out there. I'm hearing that LT Overton is everything that we thought he was. He's another one that's not a youngster that's just coming out there. You know, man, what's my other guy name that's a freshman? Enoch White. I have not heard nothing about him yet, but I'm pretty sure I will. Anthony Lucas by far is the biggest freshman star that is out there on the defensive line right now. And I'm going to repeat that name again. Anthony Lucas is by far the biggest star that is out there on that defensive line. And if you guys can remember, Anthony Lucas was this close from being a 5-star recruit. That's why he's out there being so dumb. This is the reason to why Alabama was so neck and neck with us as opposed to getting him, man. Because he honestly said it himself. He said, man, I was close to committing to Alabama. Seriously. He said it. He said, man, I was this close to committing to Nick Saban. And Nick Saban knows that. That's the one that he really, really lost that he wishes he could have gotten. That guy is a stud. And Elijah Robinson seen that. Nick Saban seen that. Defensive line coaches over there seen that. Stuff like that, man. But that guy is really, really good. And he does not play like an average 4-star recruit. Mainly because he was ranked as like number 36 in the country. That's just what it is, man. Borderline 5-star. Borderline. All right. So once again, man, it's a lot of those guys over there making a whole lot of noise. Like you guys say, the cornerback unit, they're pretty deep. That's the deepest cornerback unit that has ever been at Texas A&M University. And this is with R.C. Slocum. And R.C. had a hell of a wrecking crew. But this here is by far the deepest unit that they'll ever see at Texas A&M. And what's crazy is that we want this unit to be just like how it is now. We want to continue a steady flow of cornerbacks coming in here, knowing that they can develop and go to the National Football League from the rounds of 1 through 7. Okay? Because it has not been a cornerback yet that has came from out of the Jimbo Fisher era that has been drafted. Jalen Jones will break that mold, and he will be the first one. And I've already said that Jalen will be a first round. I'm not lying to you guys when I tell you that. You seen last season? Last season was a sophomore slump. Some kids have that sophomore slump. Some kids don't. Jalen going into his junior year, that is a first round type of cornerback. I'm going to say it once again. That's a first round type of cornerback. All right, Tyreek Chappelle, first round type of cornerback. Miles Jones, third round. I know that for sure. Miles Jones, third round. Brian George, fourth, maybe fifth. These are NFL guys on that defensive backfield. So now I'm going to transfer over to the safeties. Safety unit, deeper than this ever did. Damon Richardson, probably a day 2 pick. All right, Antonio Johnson, we don't need to speak about him. He's going in the top 10. I'm going to say this once again. Antonio Johnson will go in the top 10 in the 2023 NFL draft. I don't need to talk about that at all. All right, he will go top 10. I don't want to talk about that. I'm not lying about that. If he don't want top 10, he's going to go top 15-ish. He's going to go top 15. When Bryce Anderson gets his start, he will also be like a first or second round type of guy. This is a dangerous unit at Texas A&M now. You guys talk about the wrecking crew so much until you spoke it into existence, and here it is. This is the new age of it. Last year we got a glimpse. This year, this is the new age wrecking crew. They're not going to call themselves the wrecking crew, but it's the new age, and this is the dawn of a new era. It took us 5 years to get here. Now we're here. All right. So once again, don't know why they're saying 9-3, stuff like that. But we're going to transfer over here to now the running back room. The running back, Devon A-Chain got up there and spoke. All right. And I'm sorry, man. James Cooley, he spoke about the wide receiving unit as well. And James Cooley said this here. That wide receiving unit, skill player wise, is the best he's ever seen in the country. That's the best wide receiver room that he has ever seen. Those freshmen that came in this class is by far one of the most talented athletes he's ever coached, I think. And we're just going to have to see what we can do with all of them. Because all of these guys want to play. We're just going to see if we can make it interesting with everybody. The number one guy that you will forever hear about in practice and you're going to see forever doing his thing in practice is Evan Stewart. All these people talking about, oh man, you just going to be there just to block. No, man. No, man. You better go and look at that tape. Evan Stewart is getting around cornerbacks doing comeback routes like no other. Also heard in practice, Evan is catching 40-yard bombs over seniors and juniors. Every cornerback that has stepped up there and has had something to say about a wide receiver that they are seeing and taking notice of, all of them has said Evan Stewart. And I'm going to say this once again. Every defensive guy, every defensive cornerback has said the guy that pops out to them on that offense more and more and more each and every day is wide receiver Evan Stewart. Wow. Wow. So hey man, it is what it is. You know, another guy, just like you guys have said, I like how you said that, Noah Thomas. I have heard about Noah. Noah Thomas has absolutely taken everybody by surprise. But then again, I don't think nobody was shocked. Understand that Noah Thomas is very quiet. He stays to himself. He's not going to talk a lot. No, I don't know him personally. This is just from what I've been seeing. He comes in, puts his head down, works. Give him the playbook. Show me the routes. Teach me, develop me on how to run the routes. And I'll do my part. Noah Thomas absolutely has come out there and has been a solid killer. Okay? He's coming out there being a solid killer. Chris Marshall, he's made it in pretty late. But Chris Marshall, I have not heard them talk about him as much. But Chris Marshall is out there making plays along with Evan Stewart and Noah Thomas so far as the freshmen are concerned. Alright? Another guy that's sticking out is you keep Bryant. Is you keep Bryant. Alright? I'm hearing these coaches speak and say that offensively, this is the fastest team we've ever coached ever since we've been in College Station. This is the fastest. You wanna know why everybody is trying to give it their all right now? It's because that #1 recruiting class is, like I told you guys months ago, is in there pushing them to their limit. The sky's the limit for us. It starts at practice. It starts with development as well, and it starts with coaching. Everybody is pushing one another to go harder and harder and harder. This is the unit, man. You guys see me talk about the 2021 season being the most exciting season in A&M football history. And indeed, it was. Our QB just got hurt. This year, we have we have two other quarterbacks to look at if one quarterback goes down. That's what makes this so exciting, and this is why Texas A&M is being ranked very highly coming into the season. And we just have to live with those rankings, okay? We have to live with those rankings, and we have to live up to those rankings. Because I kid you or not, Texas A&M will be in the New Year's Six bowl game. If they don't make it to the college football playoffs, they will be in a New Year's Six bowl game. You know, I mean, that's just that. And this will be the second New Year's Six bowl game under Jimbo Fisher's tenure. So you know what comes along with 2023? Now, can you finally get over that hump, Jimbo? Can you finally get over it? Can you put the Aggies in the college football playoffs? Can you put the Aggies in a national title game? To at least just get the feel of it? But can you put them in the college football playoffs to get the feel of it also? You got to remember, once again, Jimbo Fisher went to the college football playoff before. He went to the inaugural college football playoff. One of the first coaches to be there. He got run out the building. Don't you get me wrong on that. He got run out the building by Oregon. I remember that. But he's been there. He's seen how that stage looks. He's been to the hotel rooms. He's been to the press conference. His thing is he was the first one to get that experience. You know who else got that first experience? Nick Saban. You know what else happened though? Both Nick Saban and Jimbo Fisher lost in the first game. They didn't get a chance to go to the national title game that year. They didn't. They just did not. It would have been a hell of a game, I can tell you that. Both of those guys were squared off. It would have been a hell of a game. Keying back to recruiting-wise, the clear threat in the SEC West for Alabama and Nick Saban was clearly Texas A&M and Jimbo Fisher. Why? Because he had seen Jimbo Fisher in a big game against Florida State that year, and his quarterback got hurt. It's crazy. Jimbo's quarterback got hurt that year. They ended up having a bad year. Got hurt. And that was Jimbo's final year. Got hurt. Jimbo had a number 5 team coming in. Anywho, he got to the college football playoffs. Like I say, 2 years prior to that, and just down the road, Nick Saban was also in the college football playoffs playing against Ohio State. He knew Jimbo as a recruiter. He knew Jimbo Fisher as offense coordinator under him. If anybody was going to beat him consistently, maybe, he knew that it would be Jimbo Fisher. So when Texas A&M hired him, that was the clear threat over anybody. Okay. So when they pulled in number 1 class, he knew that if Jimbo Fisher hit it right and pulled in that number 1 unit to fix each and every skill position unit like he needed to, that could also be a potential threat. So a lot of people thinking that we're going to go to Tuscaloosa and get blown out, in which I will say we may lose that game. It's a 60-40 chance that we'll lose that game. All right? No. It's a 70-30 chance that we'll clearly lose that game. 70-30. However, it's question marks on Alabama's offensive line, and it's question marks on Alabama's wide receiver unit. It's question marks on Alabama's running back unit. You don't know who's the potential threat. You don't know if they even are a threat. Nobody is the clear favorite at number 1 for the wide receiver unit over there. Nobody is the clear threat for the running back unit over there. Nobody is the clear threat at the tight end unit over there. You don't know. Offensive line, question mark. What they're hanging their heads on in Tuscaloosa is their defense. They're going to pride themselves on the defense, stopping a lot of people this year. All right? What I will say is this here. If Darryl Dickens is saying that this is the fastest offensive unit that he's ever coached while in College Station, I feel an upset coming. I feel a big upset coming. All right, so we get on to the last thing here with Devon Achane stepping up to the post as a running back. Devon is by far our clear number 1 in running back. It's a lot of people behind him, but they're all number 2 and 3. Devon is number 1. He's getting faster. He's getting more precise with his route running, as he said. And he's getting more intact into the game, just learning the playbook. Devon wants to make himself better. This is a quote that he said. He said what's crazy is that I started my junior year in high school, and now I get up here to College Station, and I'm a starter in my junior year all over again. His junior year in high school, Devon had about over 2,000 yards rushing, if I'm not mistaken, or close to 2,000 yards, something like that. But I don't know how many touchdowns. He played for Fort Bend High School out there in Missouri City. For people that were, Missouri City, Texas, by the way. For people that are, curious. But he did his thing his senior year. Senior year, they went to the big dance again. All right? They went out there to the title game. And I believe they won that title game, if I'm not mistaken. I believe they either won it or they lost to North Shore. It was 1 or 2. I don't vividly remember. But they either won or they lost. But they got there. These kids are looking to do what they did in high school all over again. These kids that are coming in has won, I don't know how many high school state titles. All right? They're just looking to put that on the college level already, and they're looking to put that in Texas A&M. All right? So Devon Achane, this is what he also said. He's been working on his route running, and he's been working on his ball catching skills. He says after practice, he'll get out there with the jugglers, and he'll just, continuously catch the ball. So if Devon Achane is going to be a running back and a potential threat at wide receiver, do you not know how wide open he's going to be if he runs those routes precisely and correct? You guys aren't hearing me. So once again, I will say that this season will be one to put in the books. This is no 84 season. This is no 93 season. Devon is going to come out there, and he's hungry. Devon A-Chain is going to come out there and play like like this is his first ever time point. He still wants that. He said that he still expects to be on kick return and maybe expect to be a punt return. It's crazy, man. I'm telling you guys, this season is the season that's going to go. I see that it may be a Miami fan in here talking about y'all want to beat Miami, then talking about not, laughing out loud emojis. I don't. It's a lot of people in Florida, in Miami specifically, hyping that Miami team up. And I'm gonna use the same quote they used on me. I would like to go 7-5. Because that's basically what they're about to go, 7-5. Miami's about to go 7-5. A lot of people want to pick them to go 10-2, being the ACC Coastal Champion, like they just forgot about Pittsburgh. But I mean, the average on Miami is like 7-5. You guys are saying we're 84. The average on Miami is 7-5. That's their average. So, hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. But we are going to see what's what. But with A-Chain speaking into developing into a wide receiver threat, and not just a running back, it's going to be crazy, man. It's going to be crazy. So somebody talking about y'all not winning more than 8 games, 8-4 in. Yeah, once again, I think he's a Miami fan. Guy, welcome to the show. Hey, it's all talk. You know what I mean? When y'all win a national championship, this conversation isn't even much about a national championship. So, I mean, us winning a national championship is irrelevant to what I'm even much talking about. You know, it's just guys just love to come in here and just to say things, just say things. Last time these two teams played, who won? This dude talking about something that happened way in like what, 20. Man, I think the last time they played was maybe like 2007. This dude talking about last who won. Dude, there's nobody much on the Miami team that played in the last game that they played against Texas A&M. Man, this might be a Texas fan. Now he's coming in here, he's trying to say last time they played, the two teams won. Matter of fact, no coaches are even at the both programs that he's even talking about. Like who last team that won? Dude, there's no coaches that even much reside with the program when the last time they won. What you talking about? John Anderson, man, what's going on? You're right, it's irrelevant. Y'all not winning nothing. Yeah, this a troll. This ain't nobody but a troll. Anywho, thank you for tuning in, man. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Alright, make sure that you hit that subscribe button. But thanks to all of you guys that tuned in pretty late here. We went for about like almost an hour. But I love talking to you guys. Like I said, it's Sunday, which is the family day and stuff like that, man. I heard somebody talking about is my microphone low? My mic is on. It shouldn't be low. Yes, from my understanding, it is on. Yeah, from my understanding, my microphone is on. I'm not sure of why you maybe heard it pretty low, but when Miami, okay, first of all, you gotta learn how to spell win. It's W-H-E-N, not W-I-N. When Miami beats y'all, I want you to give them all the praises. Okay. When Miami beat y'all. So what honestly makes you think that Miami is going to beat Texas A&M? I honestly need to know this. And when I tell you, when I make that podcast, that podcast there is going to be so lit, it's crazy. So, but not only will that podcast be lit, but that whole entire game will be very, very fun. All right, so please, guy, come in here and tell me why do you think Miami is going to win so much? because I really need to know this. Also, do I need to bring up our home record so far as Jimbo Fisher? This dude. Somebody talking about I don't believe Miami has won their division. They have. The last time they won was in whenever Mark Rich was there. And I remember that season like yesterday. They went like 11-1. I think they went like 11-1. That loss was to Pittsburgh. And then they okay, so hold on. Miami has a better quarterback, O-line, tight end, and better lean. Oh my lord. Yeah, man, at this point, man, you smoking dope over there. Yeah, you smoking dope. So Miami has better quarterback, the better O-line, the better tight end, a better defensive line, and defensive backs. I can't name anybody on that defensive line roster that you're talking about. I can't name nobody on the offensive line roster that you're talking about. Can't name nobody with the tight end unit. Only person I can name is Tyler Van Dyke. That's your quarterback. It's nobody in the wide receiver unit over there that you're speaking of that I can name or nothing. So I have no clue what he's talking about. TVD about to go off. 4 touchdowns easily. Yeah, man. Yeah. Hey, man. I don't know what type of drugs Miami giving out over there. I do know that y'all are known for, you know, having a lot of that cocaine over there. But you got to put that down, man. You're gonna have to put that down. Whatever beer or whatever Hennessy you got over there, you got to put that down. Don't worry, you will learn their names. You don't even know the names. Mallory. Man, if you don't get out of here, stop it. Stop it, dude. Y'all aren't even much a threat to anybody over there. Who are y'all even much a threat to? So, this is kind of like basically the same thing I deal with on Twitter, day in and day out. This guy, look, somebody talking about all of a sudden Miami fans becoming Texas fans. This somebody, Terry Williams, Antonio Johnson will have about 4 picks. So them 4 touchdowns that you're speaking of, Antonio Johnson gonna get at least about 2 of them for interceptions. And I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Miami is gonna throw 4 turnovers, 4 touchdowns. So you're making it into reversal and saying, them a Tyler Van Dyke's touchdown. The only problem is that Tyler Van Dyke is going to be throwing to the wrong person. And that's how Tyler Van Dyke is going to have those 4 touchdowns on his record. If Texas too. Oh, Lord. Yeah, at this point, man, stop. Stop. Dude, I don't even much like Texas, but I pick Texas over Miami. Stop it, guy. First and foremost, you guys know that Miami thinks that they're the best at producing high school football anyways. Oh my Lord, this dude said Tyler Van Dyke, the best quarterback in the country. Man, you gotta be an Alabama troll or something, man. You gotta be an Alabama troll. I ain't believing that. Matter of fact, you gotta be a Texas troll. OU. Somebody, man, y'all come get y'all boy. Y'all come get y'all boy. I don't know what he talking about. He had a long day. You had to go to work today. You gotta stop him, man. This dude, Tyler Van Dyke, the best quarterback in the country. Damn, man, what happened to Bryce Young? Now, didn't Bryce Young just win the Heisman with no offensive line help, by the way? None. And you telling me Tyler Van Dyke got the best offensive line? Didn't that dude get sacked the most in the ACC last year? Probably right behind Clemson. I'm a Miami fan. I know you're Miami fan. See, this Miami. Man, y'all gotta stop this. And don't get me wrong, man, I like Miami. But you're not about to come in here and say that Miami is going to come to Kyle Field and beat them because you're looking at what happened in 2007. Just wait, we about to put up 40. Man, you've been looking at too many of them. You've been looking at too many of them spring highlights. Oh man, I understand your defense not good. But you ain't finna say our defense not good, dude. Man, you gotta stop this, man. You gotta stop it. You gotta stop it. Once again, I don't know nobody that I can speak of as a tight end over there in Miami. I don't know nobody that I can speak of on defensive line at Miami. Nobody on the offensive line I can speak of. Nobody in the wide receiver unit I can speak of. Tyler Van Dyke barely got in there. He barely. You better be glad I know Tyler Van Dyke because I heard the national media boosting him up. Dude, look, who I was starting quarterback? Haynes King. I'll take him over Tyler Van Dyke any day. Any day. I guarantee you that Haynes King is going to come out there and prove a point to you. Probably, as a matter of fact, so you say Tyler Van Dyke 4 touchdowns? If that happens, Haynes King 6 touchdowns easily. Matter of fact, no, we not even much like that. We don't like for our quarterback get that many touchdowns. Haynes King 3 touchdowns easily. Devon A-Chain 2 touchdowns easily. Matter of fact, we're gonna put some Miami guys in there because I know you like Miami. You a Miami fan. We don't even much let you Keith Brown get a touchdown on y'all just to say, hey, this just for me being from Miami. Matter of fact, Shamar Stewart, fumble recovery, touchdown. You know, you want me to keep on going here? And you know I forgot somebody. You know I forgot somebody. You want to know who? You want to know who? Come on now. Stop. This dude go to 2 picks he threw against Kent State. There wasn't even much on him. Oh my Lord. This guy. But anywho, who I said? You Keith Brown? What's the other one from Miami, man? Y'all gotta help me out. I can't even think of the guy's name right now, and I named him just earlier. He was another one from Miami, Florida out there. I can't think of his name right now, but he even much gonna have a touchdown. This dude, Amar Daniels, 1 touchdown. Yeah, we got trolls on here, y'all. Miami fans have started coming out. I seen King in y'all's spring game. All he does is throw picks, and he inaccurate as hell. Okay. I seen Tyler Van Dyke in y'all's spring game. That's what you gonna live off of too. Tyler Van Dyke is only good in the spring game, and you better hope he can bring that spring game out. Matter of fact, Tyler Van Dyke is Miami. Ain't nobody else on Miami. King can't throw it all. No, King can't throw. All he can do is run. If that's all he can do, I guarantee you he's going to have about 5 touchdowns on the ground on y'all then. She said my boy missed Ken Dorsey too much. Bro, he missed Ken Dorsey. He missed Andre Johnson too much. He still think they got that 90s team down there, man. Matter of fact, he's still thinking that old boy that coach down there, man, that coach for the Cowboys. Man, that ain't y'all coach no more. What is you talking about? Stop it, man. Stop it. The moment y'all had that coach that used to come out there with the khaki pants, the long sleeve shirt, them shoes, and that orange tie, is the moment I knew that Miami was going to go down here. What are you talking about? Watch Tyler Van Dyke. He's the truth. Man, you know what? I watched him. I checked his stats too. I'm going to have to give Tyler Van Dyke a shout out and tell him, hey man, you by far are the most represented Miami quarterback that I can ever speak of. Because y'all haven't ripped nobody else that harder than what y'all ripping Tyler Van Dyke at. Y'all best wide receiver is a true freshman. So he done just forgot about Anaya Smith, didn't he? Or am I going crazy? So Anaya Smith, that's one. Evan Stewart, that's one. Chris Marshall, that's another freshman though. Noah Thomas, that's another freshman. Moose Muhammad, we ain't much really got a glimpse of him. What are you talking about? Brother man, you can go down our roster. At least you knew somebody on the wide receiver corps. Who are you guys wide receiver? Name me a guy that's the wide receiver on Miami. Name me a guy that's a wide receiver from Miami, please. I'll wait. Please. Chase Lane transferred, right? Nope, Chase Lane still there. Huge third down threat. Got hurt last year. I didn't even much name him. I just had on to name a couple of people. Jalen Preston, he'll know. Senior. At least we got veterans over here. Once again, name me a wide receiver from Miami that scares our backfield that are full of veterans. Come on. Come on. I'm waiting. Evan Stewart gonna go stupid. And you know he is. He's gonna go absolutely insane on that Miami defense. Because they ain't got no cornerbacks. Ain't nobody projected in nobody's rounds over there. None. I ain't seen not a person projected to go in the NFL draft on that defensive side of the ball yet. We got X, Lasson, and dude, you gotta give me that first name. You gotta give me that first name and that last name. Come on now. Who the hell is X, Lasson, and Smith? All jokes aside, Mallory at tight end would be a problem. Okay. I'll probably give you that. I'll take the tight end versus the linebacker. I'll give you that. All jokes aside, I will give you that. Have I seen Mallory play? No, I have not. But I'll give you that because that is our weak spot, at linebacker. But if you're going to match him up with one of our corners, our nickel, Not worried at all. Y'all wide receivers, our cornerbacks about to go lock. Oh, man. You're not for real. You're not for real about that. And you know you're not. You know you're not for real about that. You know you're not for real about that. And you better name me one of them cornerbacks. Name me at least one of them. Name me at least one of them cornerbacks. And I thank all of you guys for just staying tuned in as we're all going back and forth. And of course, he's going to bring in more Miami fans as that game get closer and closer. That's fine, man, because this is the build-up. And it's a prove-it-to-me game for both teams on that actual night. And it's a night game. You got to remind you, Jimbo Fisher is almost undefeated that night at Kyle Field. I'm going to say it once again. We almost undefeated that night at Kyle Field. We deep at tight end, and Mallory not the best. We legit got 3 who will be first. No, y'all don't. No, y'all don't. And if you gonna point that out, y'all legit deep at tight end. Dude, we even deeper. What are you talking about? Now, they may all mostly be freshmen, but dude, we even deeper. And then I just sat up here and told you, we're gonna do a 2 tight end set. Do you really think if they running routes that one of your guys is going to be able to cover 2 tight ends and plus Evan Stewart, Anaya Smith, and whomever the third wide receiver is? You really think that? Y'all watched your best tight end last year went undrafted. Only reason why he went undrafted is because he had bad quarterback play last year, and he was up and down himself. No, seriously, we legit deep at tight end. Watch, you'll see. All right, man, okay. And you saying that, brother, man, we legit deep at cornerback. We legit deep at defensive line, deeper than what we've ever been. We're legit deep at the linebacker unit too. We're legit deep at safety. We're legit deep at free safety. What are you talking about? Man, you better go look up our roster again, man. Yes, coach about to shut down number 8 Smith. So who is number 8 Smith? Talking about Anaya Smith? If talking about Anaya Smith, he's number 0. Evan Stewart, you're not going to shut down. You go ahead and get that out your mind now. And if you feel like you're gonna shut them down, man, you better go and look at some film on Evan Stewart. You better go look at all that film. Y'all young at the line, it's going to take time for them to come on. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. But they'll be their third game in. But you cannot tell me that Miami's defensive line is going to be better than our defensive line, man. We have a lot of rotation, dude. Y'all lost your D-line from last year. Yeah, that's cool. Everybody lost their D-line from last year. Man, you having fun, man. I ain't gonna let you have all this fun, man. I'm gonna have to go ahead and get on up out of here, y'all. I love all of you. To the Miami fan out there, man, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I thank you for tuning in. I thank all of you guys for tuning in. Once again, this is the Homemade Podcast Sports. I love all of you. #EagleMags.